past week was my first full-time week back as a product designer at the tech company I work for called Zendesk. As some of you may know, I spent the last 2 years in a design operations role and I learned a lot, but my heart was in product design, so I've switched back. If you want to learn more about the switch, you can also watch this video. Since today is the Saturday after my first full-time week back, and I've been doing a bit of reflecting on how it all went, I thought I'd share it with all of you. First weeks are usually great, and mine was really great. But since I internally transferred roles, my first week was a bit unique to what I would consider a typical first week at a new job. Besides being a remote employee, which means no matter where I work, I'm still working from home, I already had my company laptop, I already had all the software I would need to do my job, I already know who to talk to if I need anything, and I know the company really well. So onboarding just kind of looks different. It's much more self-initiated. So let's talk about this first week, breaking it down day by day. Monday. So actually the first thing I did on Monday was log on to Slack and check my profile to see if my title had changed. And obviously it did. Yay, but seeing it made it feel so real and it was definitely a highlight. Up until around 11 a.m. I had no meetings, which meant I could just catch up on Slack messages and review emails like I typically do on Mondays. Always trying to reach that inbox zero, am I right? The afternoon was jam-packed though. Since I was transitioning roles internally, I agreed to a transition plan, which means up until a certain period of time, I'm still supporting aspects of my previous role. Although it was my first week back in product design, it was also the last week I was trying to hand off all of the rest of my design ops work. So, that all to say, I spent a good portion of Monday working collaboratively with my colleagues in design operations, and not that much work in product design. Tuesday. Tuesday sort of felt more like my first actual full-time day in my new role. And my focus this day was on getting myself caught up on the product strategy and roadmap. This is not super glamorous and there's not that much detail I can share, but basically it consists of reading a ton of documentation. With the work, my goal is to try and get myself to be an expert in this new product area as efficiently as possible. And as a designer, one of the first things my mind goes towards with learning about the product strategy is trying to understand the people we are designing for and to start creating alignment in the language that we can use to talk about how they are using our products. Lucky for me, I've got a dedicated UX researcher on my team, so I also started working on a few UX research briefs with her so we could get started with talking to customers right away. I wrapped up Tuesday with reviewing the project priorities, knowing that the following day I wanted to start sizing the work from a design perspective. Wednesday. Wednesdays at Zendesk are no meeting days, which means I can maximize my heads down design time. In the morning, I had just one call where I was representing my previous team, but after that, I decided to head out to a local restaurant to get out of the house and get some fresh air while I worked. Something that's important to me with starting a new role and also starting a new team, which is what I am doing, is to make sure that the team's communication systems are set up for success. So I set up 2 new design-focused Slack channels, one for just the members of the product design team, which includes myself, the UX researcher, and my manager. The other was a Slack channel for close cross collaborators to join, like product managers and engineers. And for further context, I'm a part of a larger product area at Zendesk called Growth and Monetization. And we actually have a good sized design team here filled with product designers, UX researchers, and content designers. It was really fun actually joining this org because in my previous product design role here, I was on the buying experience team, and this is a pillar within Growth and Monetization. So it sort of felt like I was back on the team, just in a new product focus area. So anyway, with starting these channels, I worked with my manager to ensure that the new channels were aligned with the other designers' channels' naming conventions. I also set up a weekly design sync for the team, as well as a folder we could start using in Google Drive for all design projects related to this product focus. As you can see, I like to be organized from the very, very beginning. Past that, the focus of my day was to get myself caught up with how our product design team now sizes design projects, so I could start creating a timeline to get the design work done for the first project I'm working on. Without a clear understanding around how big a project is and when we want certain parts of the design work to be delivered, I think it's nearly impossible to hit deadlines, which is why this was a priority for me during this first week back. Thursday morning I had back-to-back meetings, one of which included a one-on-one with my manager, and another few which included reviewing the research briefs. During the afternoon, I spent my time working on a deck which I'm using to collect early work I'm doing in my role. It will include a full design review and audit of the current product design experience, as well as inspiration collected from other companies doing interesting related work. This presentation is largely for me to use to be able to wrap my head around the new problem space, but I will also present it to my manager, the larger growth and monetization design team, as well as the product managers and engineers that I'll be working with. Fridays are usually pretty chill. In the morning, I joined the growth and monetization design team meeting, which was pretty fun. It feels so great to be working alongside other designers again in this way. For half the time, we talked through team announcements. We also reviewed some project work that someone was working on, and we even had a little bit of extra time at the end of the hour, so we played a fun virtual game together. Kind of just an opportunity to connect and be social and to just get to know each other better. For the rest of the day, I was working on my design review deck from the previous day, and ultimately, I've not finished it, but I feel like I'm in a good spot with it going into next week. And that was my first week back in product design. Overall, this was a great week. I did start to feel a little bit overwhelmed during the middle of the week because there is a lot to catch up on from a product strategy perspective, and I want to try and get started with designing new work as soon as I can. But that all to say, getting situated and getting the logistics right are also really important, and that's why I spent time this first week getting that stuff right. Is anyone else starting their first week in product design, or maybe even transitioning from another role like myself? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear how it's going for you. And if you're still here, yay, thanks so much for watching this video all the way to the very end. Don't forget to give it a like if you enjoyed it, and of course, subscribe to my channel for more content about design and careers if you haven't already. I hope to see you in that next video. That is all for now. Bye.